Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of self that have exactly what you want, or that you are inhabiting the reality you want to be in. And if not, why don't you let me know in the comments below? And guess what? There's a rule. You can't tell me how long you've been doing this and nothing's working. That is not a valid excuse. That is being aware of being a version of yourself that is clinging to time. So that doesn't count. Okay? If you would like to work with me in any way, shape, or form, all the ways to connect with me or to do that, to coach with me, is in the drop box below. It was in the screens that just went by, including my channel memberships. We've got Poop here today with us, bored off her tits with what I'm talking about because she is snoring up a storm. We got the pretty sounds of the dishwasher going as well for your entertainment purposes. Now, let's jump in. Observing the observer. I know we've all heard phrases like that throughout this community, and if you were anything like I was, especially in the early days of my journey, I would totally blow that off and think that's not important. I don't care. Just tell me how to get what I want. How do I get my money? How do I get my specific person? I don't care. Yeah, I know. I'm the observer. I get it. I understand. I am. Okay, where's SP? Where's the money? So if any of you felt like that, or a thought like that popped in when I said that, I resonate. Don't click out of the video. From my personal experience, and from anybody who has listened to me and successfully manifested their desires, the observer mode has been a part of that equation. And what I mean by that is when you are tired of struggling and being in a reality you no longer want to be in, when you are tired of simply not getting what you want, and you have yet to take the time to understand who the observer is and why you're experiencing what you're experiencing. And I don't mean that surface level, yep, I know. My mindset used to be shit. That's why I don't have what I want. I get that, Kim. I understand. But do you? Do you? Because your perspective of reality, that matters. How you're describing that reality matters, because it's telling you that you are still observing, being, or observing the awareness, being aware of. I can word it in all different ways. You are still being aware of being a version of yourself that isn't experiencing your desires. And that's certainly not what we want to observe when we want what we frickin' want. Okay? For some of us, maybe the idea of what the observer is doesn't totally make sense. And I understand that. So let me explain to you that the observer is the true essence of who you are. You've probably heard me say, unless you're new to my channel, which if you are, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and I am obsessed with getting what I want, and I'm sure you are too. And if that's the case, you can handle this sass. Why don't you subscribe and come back and see me? And let me know in the comments below that you just subscribed, because YouTube doesn't always tell me. But the observer truly is pure, unadulterated consciousness, which again, if you're not new here, you've heard me say that. And maybe you've heard it. You tell yourself you understand it, but you still don't understand the observer. The observer is the eye of God, the eye of the universe, the I am before the I am. It is source. It is everything. It is why you are experiencing what you're personally experiencing in your reality. Because the I am is aware of being the things that are in your reality. And I will tell you comfortably that until I understood the power of the I am and what it really means, I feel like I was a half-ass manifester, not really understanding concepts. And by concepts, I mean just the different perspectives on how manifestation works. I really wasn't getting to the nuggets that I needed. And I think that you need. Now, again, this is my perspective. This is my reality experience. This is my perception on how manifestation works. You don't necessarily have to agree with me, but you won't fail by understanding the observer and connecting with it. And by connecting with it, I mean you already are it. It could be very easy to be completely entranced in the version of yourself that you already are. We believe so wholeheartedly that we are these identities. Before understanding the observer, I was Kimberly. Just Kimberly. That's who I really am, because it was difficult to believe or understand or accept that I'm not just Kimberly. That conceptually made no sense to me. How could there not be a Kimberly? I have a soul, right? Well, I'm not trying to take that away from you. And I'm not trying to tell you what to believe. Meaning, if you're not someone that believes in God, okay, I'm not trying to push that on you. And you don't necessarily have to accept God. I was raised in a Catholic type home. And, Catholicism was what I was raised on. So my idea of God has only expanded, but maybe not so much changed. The only thing that has changed for me is I no longer think God is this judging, mean, vengeful God that I was afraid of and didn't want to be connected to. Was angry at this outside, away from me God. But you see, and this can feel quite blasphemous. I've said that since the day I opened my channel, that understanding that you are God, or if you believe in the universe and that God, well, then you are that universe. I know that can be a tough concept to really accept for yourself. And listen, you can put your little own twist on what you believe is really happening within consciousness, and that's okay for me. It doesn't matter. You still need to be aware of who the observer is and what the observer is and what is really happening, why you're experiencing what you're experiencing, so you can freaking change it. Start experiencing what you want. The observer is who you are without the ego identity of who you believe you are. So in other words, the observer is me before I am Kimberly. The observer is who is seeing reality and perceiving. The observer is what we are at our whole. You could call it your soul if you'd like to. But if you think the soul is connected to just Kimberly, then I believe your perception is limited. Now, again, that's my perception on how manifestation works, how consciousness works, what it is. It is the beginning of all. And every single one of us is that same I am observer. But from what we are experiencing as these beings, as this being, Kimberly, I believe it's only from my perspective. I'm seeing reality from my little corner of consciousness. That's how I perceive and understand it. But it's even more than that. We're all the same as the observer. And maybe there's a part of you thinking, because I'm trying to think of all the things that I used to think about how I didn't fucking care about that kind of stuff, and I just wanted to get what I want. So I'm trying to think of everything that you're thinking. If you're anything like I used to be, I know how unimportant that probably seems to you. Reality creation, and remember, creation is finished. Meaning everything that could ever be or ever was is already done, created, done, dusted. How we bring it to our world around us, what we call manifesting, is simply the observer observing a different spot in consciousness, awareness. That's how I conceptualize it. That's how it makes sense to me. how to actually be just the observer. You shed everything else. My way of doing it is quite similar to what Neville Goddard shared. I go to a room in my home that there is no technology, there is no outside, interruptions. I close my eyes and I repeat, I am. And then I stop doing that. And I allow myself to just be. No noise, no interruptions. And for anybody who is neurodivergent, if you think that you can't do that because you are neurodivergent, let me guarantee you, yes, you can. Because I am neurodivergent. And if I can do it, you can do it. Do you want to know why? Because you are the same observer. You are God too. Not broken up in particles or pieces, but all connected as one. See, why I feel it's important for you to be aware of this and connect with it, because once you do, you will not question things. Or if you do, you'll snap yourself out of it a lot quicker than maybe you do right now. Reality around you is happening, or what you're experiencing is happening because you are the observer. You are the I am. You are the all of everything. Understanding that connection, you're gonna become pretty powerful and slightly fearless. And by slightly, I just mean we're still having the human experience, so fears and doubts are quite normal. But you will always have that to return to. It is your own personal inner connection, your own personal relationship with God, universe, source, because you are it. Who do you think is seeing maybe the not very clear pictures, but who do you think is seeing, thinking behind your closed eyes? It's the observer. The observer. I have a mental picture of what the observer looks like, and to me, it's one giant eyeball. Just one giant eyeball, moving and looking in all different directions of what I perceive is conscious awareness. That's my way of describing what's going on. One giant eyeball, choosing, staring, believing, accepting. If you notice, a lot of affirmations begin with I am. That's also another little technique to define yourself, to choose who or what you want to be, who you want to be aware of being. But thanks, Pooh. Nothing like saying she couldn't care less, right? I get it. You might think this is an unimportant step in your manifestation journey, but I'm telling you, when you have the experience of understanding that you are the powerful I am before knowing, observing the I am, you are the beginning step. If there were steps, you're it. And all we are ever sincerely doing is observing. That's what being aware is. It's observing. It's a decision. It's a choice. You're choosing to show up every day as this iteration of yourself. You're choosing your reality. And it may not feel like it. And I understand that. But I would say to you, because you're entranced by it in this moment, think about the levels of conditions and limited beliefs. And not all beliefs are limited, right? But they are still an add-on to what you really are. They're an extra, and they are a choice. We have been conditioned to believe, not necessarily that they are a choice, that it just is the way it is, the way life works. No, the way life works is through awareness. It's why different people have all different experiences, because that's what they believe. That's where their I amness, their observer is looking, where their eyeball is looking. That's why they're having different, why it feels different. But it's all the same observer. I strongly encourage you to quiet your mind and for a moment, ask yourself, who is there? Who's seeing? Who's the observer? The observer is nothing, meaning not the identity that you believe you are. It's what is. It is all. As you understand that, it becomes easier to choose different versions of yourself from my perspective. It changed the game for me. And anybody out there feeling like, I don't even like meditation. That sounds like meditation. I don't want to meditate. I get it. I didn't like it either. I didn't want to be bothered with it. But it changed my understanding of how to get what I want in reality. It changed me. It expanded my awareness. Listen, in truth, I know that probably in this moment, all you're concerned with is how to get that manifestation to show up in physical reality. And from my personal experience, when I allowed myself to take, actually, it only took one real meditation for me to get the concept of the seeing. What is seeing? Who is observing? Who's understanding in here? It changed how I manifested. It changed the fear around the not getting what I wanted in reality. I realized, oh my gosh, I am the I am. I realized it solidified the knowing that I am doing this. I am manifesting my reality. I am awareness. I am all of it, and so are you. So I encourage you to take some time, close your eyes, quiet the world around you, and repeat, I am. I am. Neville Goddard discusses it as far as keep saying I am, until you lose consciousness. But by losing consciousness, he doesn't mean until you're passed out. He means until you are no longer aware or focused on the physical world around you. I don't necessarily keep saying it that long. It seems to work better for me to just be quiet, but I do start with the I am. I highly encourage you to do it. It's going to solidify the magical power that you have within you to change anything and everything about your life, because they are just illusions, a hologram around you. It is the understanding of it is the I am really made it easier for me to bring in what I wanted. That one little concept, that one little understanding. You can change your life. And if you're fretting over a manifestation in this current moment, and this video popped up and you decided to watch it, perhaps that means it's time for you to try to understand this and try to accept it, that you are more than just who you believe you are in this moment. It's life-changing because it is life. It is what we're doing. The observer. Observe the observer. A mental picture that might help you, a visual that might help you, is seeing yourself step out of reality, unzipping the meat suit that you're wearing. That might help. Observe the observer. So on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.